Hello and welcome to a new Sunday Live with me, Queen Marie. For you who haven't met me before, who's new to this channel, my channel, here at Queen Formation, I want you to feel extra welcome. And why do I call myself a queen? Many are wondering, and some people are joking about it, but there is actually something serious behind this, something that means a lot to me. The reason is that I want to remember every moment that I am worthy, that I am enough. So it's all about remember my own greatness within. That's why I started to call myself a queen. So it's nothing about me being better than you, or we're just the same, right? But I choose to call myself a queen, to always remind myself that I am good enough and I'm worthy of my own love and others' love. So welcome everyone to join me today, because I think self-love can't be spoken enough. We can't speak enough about that. It's just, I meet so many who, well, they say that, yeah, of course I love myself, but the actions does not prove that they do. I can feel it, I can see it. I'm not judging anyone. I'm just here to witness, I'm here to observe, and I'm just here to guide and help and share my story to what has changed since I really got into this work and gave myself the time and the willingness to be present enough to really feel into how do I treat myself, how do I speak to myself. So I want to invite you this Sunday now to ask yourself, how do you speak to yourself? How do you treat yourself? Are you willing to really love yourself? And if you feel like right now that, yes, of course, but I don't know how, you are in the right place. I don't want to get into too much teaching. I want this to be our space. I want you to feel welcomed and seen and heard, even if we can't see you on the screen. But just share who you are, where you tune in from, and where you are on your self-love journey. I would love to know. And hello, Jennifer. Welcome. It's good morning for you in the US. Where are you on your self-love journey? Please let us know. And because the more we share on this topic and can be honest and show our vulnerability, and it will help so many other women. They will feel like they are not alone. Because this can be a very lonely journey once we start, because many of our friends might not understand what we are doing. Why are you standing in front of the mirror saying that you love yourself? And in the beginning, I did not do that. I did it. I was hiding. I was doing behind the scenes when no one saw me. I was standing when I was around other people. I was standing whispering, so no one could see and hear what I was doing. Because it just didn't come natural in the beginning. And that's okay. Because we were not taught to do this. But it is the most important thing. We actually should put time and effort into to really sit with ourselves and feel into, how do I speak to myself? How do I treat myself? Do I really love myself? Do I accept myself? Because that's where everything starts. There is so much conditioning that we want to, first I'm going to lose some weight, or first I'm going to get that new job, or first I'm going to, whatever we need to change. But that is not unconditional love. And I'm speaking about unconditional love here, right now. That's what we want to go for. Because everything else, yes, it's conditioned. And no matter the circumstances in my life, I am willing to love myself. I wake up every morning giving myself acceptance and love. And I really, truly value myself today. But I did not do that a few years ago. So welcome everyone who's coming in here. Let me know where you're coming from and what part of you feels hardest to love right now. I remember it was not so much about my body actually, but I found it very difficult to accept myself for the things that I had done in the past. I was beating myself up a lot for what I had been doing in the past of my life. And if we can't accept and, how shall I explain this? If we can't accept all of it, the whole package, because we only have now. So why do we beat ourselves up for whatever we did last month or last year or 10 years ago? I can't change it. It is what it is. So I better just accept it. It do not define who I am. So that's something to think about. Whatever comes up for you, when you ask yourself, what part do you feel hard to love when it comes to yourself? Is it really something you can change? And if you condition your love to yourself, like you have to look a certain way and perform in a certain way, there will be a time in your life when you will not look that way. We are on this Mother Earth now, and we're getting older, and things are changing in our body, how we look, our hair, our way of speaking, our way of moving. There will be a day when things change, right? So if I'm not willing to accept it all today and tomorrow and the next day, that I need to condition things to be a certain way, I will never be able to unconditionally love myself. And is that really fair? Because we are pure love. That's how we came here. So share with me in the chat. Let me know where you are on your journey of self-love. Because once we have this foundation in place of self-love and self-worth, life will become so easy. I'm not saying that we're not going to have any obstacles and that fear is never ever going to show up again, because it will. But when we truly love ourselves and value ourselves, that comes with such a beautiful feeling of trust. And the fear will fade away. It will loses its grip of you. That's just how it works. And this is just beautiful, because you will be able to go through challenges that you maybe never ever thought that you would be able to go through. The things that you might struggle with right now. But once this self-love and self-respect and self-worth is in place, things will start to change. That's just how it is. I'm a living proof of it. So many things is changing when we can wake up in the morning and feeling this unconditional love for ourselves. And when we choose to have healthy boundaries, like these things that can be many times so hard to set boundaries. It was for me anyway, and now it just comes natural. I don't even have to think about it. It's like this inner voice says, it's like my heart is whispering like, Marie, it's time to stop now. You've done enough. And say yes to yourself, like yes to rest, yes to relax, and yes to just be. We are not human doers. We are human beings. Human beings. Don't think we can say human beers. So yeah. Hi, beautiful Lena. Thank you for checking in. So for all of you who's watching this as a replay, also feel free to comment. I will always check my comments to my old videos, and I'm so grateful for you showing up and watching the replays and commenting and sharing your thoughts and your love, and I will always be there and replying to your comments. So let me know what it is you might struggle with, or if maybe you finally found a way to truly step into this beautiful self-love. Because it doesn't have to be hard. It's just about showing up for yourself every single day. So you don't like, oh no, I don't have time today. Yes, you have. As long as you have time to take a shower and brush your teeth and have breakfast and all the other things we do every day, you have time to give yourself love. But it is we just have to learn and create new habits. It's new habits that needs to be created. So it just goes on autopilot, like brushing your teeth, right? So once you brush your teeth, you can give yourself love in the mirror. It's a perfect time to start, to look yourself in the eye and just hold on to loving thoughts. You don't have to say anything in the beginning. Just look at yourself. Give yourself a smile. Be there. And just catch these negative thoughts that will show up, because we are humans, right? We are so fast with criticizing ourselves. But that's where self-love begins. Being present and stopping this. You stop criticizing yourself. That's what it's all about. Because as long as we keep criticizing ourselves for looking a certain way or saying different things, and we are beating ourselves up and we are criticizing ourselves for not being enough and we are not doing enough, or whatever it is, you just hold yourself away from experiencing this beautiful love that you deserve to give yourself. There's so many times that I remember how I was seeking this love from the outside world. I was expecting others to fill that cup for me. And I was very frustrated when I didn't feel that, when I didn't receive it from others. All this validation I was looking for in the outer world, when actually, that I learn now, is my job to give it to myself. No one else can ever fill that cup. Never. But again, they don't teach us this. My parents didn't know that. My mother certainly didn't love herself. And in school, they don't teach us this. And I truly believe that we don't learn this, because if we knew this, that we came here in pure love, we all love, we're just here to remember how amazing, how incredible we are, and that we can just claim this self-worth. If we knew this, we would be too powerful. So they don't teach us this. They hold it away from us. Let's see, Jennifer, my anxiety. I feel pressure to find a job, but often struggle with making a decision, because if it's wrong, I have to start in another direction. I'm tired of starting over, learning to keep trying. Yeah. It sounds like you are stuck in a place where you want to change, right? Yeah. And what I feel here, Jennifer, is you don't want to try, because this is also, our subconscious mind will take that as a doubt, like you already doubt before you even started. And this is how it looks for most, especially women. We don't make this decision. You say that you struggle with making a decision because if it feels wrong. But trust me, Jennifer, if you make a committed decision that from right here, right now, I'm going to start to love myself. I'm going to, even if it feels hard, even if it feels like it's resistance in your whole body, you can just change the wording a bit, like I'm willing to learn to love myself, so that your whole system is not going to reject it once you start. So could that feel easier if you commit that I'm willing to start to love myself? So it's a learning curve, right? But you commit to do the work. You can write it down, like you make a contract with yourself. So you write it down in whatever wording you choose, that this today, I promise to give myself this time every day. And you can even say, will I do it in the morning and the evening? Will I do it 3 times a day? You know how your days look like, but you want to commit to yourself. You want to put the alarm on the mobile so you don't forget. Because life is busy. Life will always happen. So I wish for you to make a committed decision that here right now, I'm going to start to do this work every day. And when you stand in the mirror, you like look yourself in the eyes and say, I am willing to start to love myself. And maybe you have to do that a few days before it starts maybe possible for you to change the words. Because your anxiety were born in your mind by from the way you choose to think. It comes from our thoughts. Everything starts there. You know, all us humans, there is a constant flow of energy. It's flowing to and through you, and this energy is just is. You make it what it is. You choose. So you create these thoughts, and I can imagine that it has been a lot of criticism. Maybe you've been very hard around yourself, like the way you speak to yourself. And maybe just because you are in a position where you're trying to find a job, maybe you're disappointed on yourself that you haven't yet found this job. So you are in this hamster wheel of beating yourself up, or some kind of negativity. So it all starts with showing yourself love and compassion, speaking kindly to yourself. So change the wording. Catch yourself like, I'm not going to speak to myself in this way anymore. I'm done with that. And this takes time. But I'm sure, Jennifer, you have been here so many Sundays. I've spoken about this work as a garden. You choose what plants you want to see in your garden. What seeds do you plant? If you keep on putting these seeds of negativity into your garden, there will only be weeds, right? And I'm sure you want beautiful flowers and healthy vegetables and whatever it is you wish for. Yes, I don't want to stay stuck, you say. Yeah, no. And we will be stuck as long as if we're not willing to do something different. And the thing that I encourage you to do different is to make new choices here, to make this committed decision and take this seriously, because you are worth it. You are worthy of waking up every morning without anxiety. And as I said, it comes from your thoughts. All this energy, you create these thoughts. You make them what it is. And I can hear it. Like it is all this worrying and doubting. You're doubting yourself and you're worrying to not find this job. And on it goes. And in between all this, you might say negative things about yourself. But if you change that, what can you change? Can you catch one thing from today that you could have made differently when we're now speaking about this topic? What is one thing? Would you mind sharing that in the chat? Because it all starts with self-awareness. We want to become aware of how we speak to ourselves. We want to become aware of how unfair we are, mostly. I was shocked when I started this work. What I started to hear in my mind. And this inner voice is not you. It is not you. That's the first thing you want to understand, that it's not you. But as long as you accept it, and maybe you fight what's going on there, there won't be much change, because this whole circus is draining you on energy. And when we are tired, it's a challenge to be present and take care of ourselves and do this work. But most people, when they start to do this, they are not willing to listen. They are not willing to continue, because it can also be painful to become aware of how I treat myself, that I allow all this craziness to go on. And that's our job. That's our job. And we're not here to judge ourselves for what we have been saying. We're just here like, wow, this is really amazing. How could I let this continue for so long? Interesting. It's time to change this. We don't judge, because again, you want to give yourself compassion, Jennifer. That's where self-love starts. It all begins when you give yourself these short moments of rest and just sit with yourself and listen. That's how we learn. And that's when we are able to change something, to make new choices. Like, make it a game. What do I learn about myself today? Because again, it is the way we think. It's the thought patterns that we accept day after day after day. They create this fear. Because of, if we keep worrying and doubting, that causes this feeling of fear. Because fear is just a feeling. And faith is also a feeling. So we can actually choose. Do we choose fear or do we choose faith? But to be able to choose faith, we need to understand how our mind functions. This is what we go deeper on in our program, Unleash Your Worthy Woman, in Queen Formation. But I just want to share a little about it so you get an understanding that it's nothing wrong with you. You're not the only one who's going through this. You don't have to beat yourself up for this. You don't have to feel like, sometimes we feel like we just want to give up on ourselves. That's how I used to feel. But once we understand that it is the doubt and the worrying that causes the fear, and if that fear is allowed to take control of your life, that creates the anxiety. So it is the fear that causes you to be anxious. And if we don't stop this anxiety, and I'm not talking about taking any pills or medicines, because we don't need that. Once we understand how this works, we can heal and help ourselves in a natural way. Because if we keep the anxiety to go on, that causes depressions. And that's why we see millions of people suffering from depression all over the world. This is the most common disease. And from depression, we catch so many other health issues. So, yeah, it starts with becoming aware of our thought patterns. That's where everything starts. But we can't solve this in one day, and not in 1 week, and not in 1 month. But we can see a huge difference in just a few days once we are willing to put in time into this. And we all have this time. We can just put this phone away more often and give this time to ourselves and observe and hold ourselves, hug ourselves, and dance and move and breathe and tell ourselves that I'm okay, I am safe, and I am loved, because you are. But it can never ever start and be sustainable from a place of I'm gonna try. Because it's like when we use the word try, it's like I think I'm not gonna make it, but I'm gonna try. I will try for a while. No, I want you to commit. Make a decision. I'm gonna do this. And I might have days where I fail. But it's okay. Because this is part of the journey. It's up and down and up and down and up and down. But as long as we don't give up on ourselves, that we just get up on the horse again and choose to believe that we are worthy and that we can do this and we can come through this darkness and see the light, be the light, because you are. We are all the light. We are all love and light. That's how we came here. And now I've been talking so much and haven't given you any chance to respond. I don't know if you've written anything here in the chat, Jennifer. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that you are vulnerable here. But whatever we want more of in our life, and if we struggle in getting this job or turn around our financial situation, whatever it is, it's like everything starts with self-awareness, becoming true to ourselves, and really lean into this I am. I am. Whatever you put after I am creates your reality. So if I keep saying that I am tired, I am a failure, I am whatever it is we keep saying, that's what we will experience. But if we keep affirming to ourselves, everything we say is an affirmation. It is. So that's why we want to really be conscious about how do I speak to myself. Because it's not enough standing in front of the mirror 5 minutes each morning and say affirmations that we are following through a guided channel on YouTube or something, and then for the rest of the day you let your thoughts go crazy and wild and speaking all this negativity. Everything is an affirmation. So I am worthy, I am healthy, I am okay, I am safe, I am strong, I am enough, I am willing, I am love, and on it goes. So you can change this, Jennifer. You can change it. How are you, everyone who's joining this Sunday live? I can see I have a few here with me. Let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from and how you're feeling and where you are on your journey. But it's so natural to feel the way you do, Jennifer, and there's nothing wrong with you. You are amazing in showing up here every Sunday live. I appreciate you, and I see you, and I hear you, and I love you, and I believe in you. You can make these changes. but make this contract with yourself and put it up on the fridge or on the mirror in your bathroom or whatever. Just write down that from now on, I'm going to give myself this time every single day, because I'm worthy of this time. I'm worthy of this love. And I'm worthy to feel peace and to feel calm. And that's the opposite to anxiety, right? Well-being, just to feel good, waking up, feeling good. This is the number one thing that everyone wants the most, is to feeling good when we wake up. And it's possible. But it starts with how we choose, what thoughts we choose, how we speak to ourselves, how we treat ourselves. Am I willing to love myself unconditionally? Because it has nothing to do with circumstances. Nothing. Doesn't matter if you are, whatever you go through, nothing outside of you we just want to remember that. So breathe into that. I'm worthy. I'm worthy. And I'm willing to love myself. And I am enough. And then we can watch so many things change in our life. It's the most beautiful experience to really come home to ourselves, because that's what we do. We come home to ourselves, how we were supposed to live our life here on Mother Earth, in pure love. And that might sound woo-woo sometimes, like, oh, it's not possible. Yes, it is. I've gone through so many challenges recently, but I stay committed. I feel this deep, true love for myself, and that helps me go through these challenges. And it's the same for you. But we want to have this foundation in place. So ask yourself, what part of you feels hardest to love right now? Or can't you love yourself at all? And whatever we want to start in our life, we have to be willing to give it time, right? If you want to learn to play the piano, we don't expect to be able to play the piano after one day or after a weekend or a week. No, we understand that this takes repetition. We need to show up there at the piano and do this scales, or however you learn how to play piano these days. We don't expect that to go quickly. It might take years. But if we really, really want to learn something new, we will give it time. So why are we not willing to give ourselves time to do this work? Stand in front of the mirror and just watch ourselves deeply into the eyes and say, I love you. I really, really love you. And I value you. And I accept you just the way you are. To show up in the mirror every single day, that's what makes the difference. And you can lay in the bed before you go up, you can hug yourself and just say some loving thoughts to yourself before you go up. So you just don't jump up from the bed and, get to your to-do list and start to help everyone else. You start with yourself. If you have children and family and pets and everything to look after, then you might have to wake up a few more minutes earlier so you can have time to show up for yourself, to be there, to hold space for this young version of yourself who's still in there. My little Marie, 5 years, she still lives within me. And she needs to be seen and heard and hugged and loved. And it's the same for you. All of us. Because there was many times in our childhood where we were not seen, we were not listened to, we were criticized, we were judged. And this is the things that we need to heal now. And we do it by showing up, seeing her. So if you're standing there in front of a mirror and maybe you feel sadness once you start this work, it's okay, because it's just a little version of yourself who feels sad because you haven't paid any attention to her for maybe 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. I hadn't done that for 40 years, 45 years when I started this work. So she was very sad. I was crying a lot in the beginning. Yes, that really makes a difference. When you have that love for yourself, even when things go wrong, it's easy to love yourself when everything flows. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we don't want to condition that things has to be a certain way, that it has to be sunshine or a lot of money in the bank and this smooth skin and perfect body, or because if we wait until we are perfect, we waste our life. We waste our life because it will never be perfect. We don't want to go for perfectionism. We want to learn to see the perfection in our imperfection. That's when we can truly start to love ourselves. Like, whatever flaws I have, whatever stupidity I've done, whatever is going on in my life, I can still show up and love myself. That's true love. And that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing, Lena. Thank you for being here, everyone. I just want to hold this space for all of you to come in and share and feel like you're not alone, because I said in the beginning, this journey, when we decide to grow as a human being, it can be so lonely sometimes, and many times you start to wonder if am I the only one who feel this way and go through these things, all these doubts and worrying, and it might not work, nothing might feel like it's changing in your life, and you're doubting that you're doing something wrong, but you're not, because again, it takes time. Go back to the garden. If we plant the seeds of carrots, we don't dig the soil every day and look if there is anything growing, right? We will give these seeds some time. I think it takes, I don't know, maybe someone who's here to the end can correct me. I think it takes 11 or 12, maybe 3 months to grow your carrots. Am I right or wrong? In this way, I can see if you're here to the end, every one of you who's been here on the replays. But how long does it take? And it's all about trust. When we put in the work, when we are willing to trust this process and keep showing up for ourselves, we don't start to doubt after 1 day, after 2 days, that nothing changed, because it might not change after the first days you start this. But if you keep showing up every day with compassion, talking in a kind, loving way, and give yourself moments to stop and breathe and relax and rest and just trust, you will experience change. I promise you. But what I see the most is that people give up. When they can't see the change in the first 2-3 days, they quit. And that's so sad, because again, this is a wonderful, beautiful journey that is so rewarding. And what can be more important in our life than making sure that we feel good? Because once we feel good, there will be a ripple effect, right? So many people around us will benefit from me doing this job, and I can inspire others by showing up in love, in this trust, and in this space of no judgment. This is what I challenge myself with every single day, not judging anyone around me. Sometimes I fail because I'm human, but often I catch myself and then, I'm sending love to this person or to this people or to this situation or whatever it is I was judging. And most of all, stop judging ourselves. And you will see changes that you could not even imagine in the beginning. So it's so worth it. And you are worthy of this love queen. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. And I will show up next Sunday live with a new topic. And we will see who is showing up. And maybe we can start that Sunday live and see how it goes for all of you who started and committed to show up for yourself. I love you and I appreciate you, and thank you so much for being here.